Hey, KenkoVibers, welcome back to the show. You know we like geek out on all things health and wellness. I'm Ethan.
And Grace.
And today we are going deep on how hormones can really mess with your skin.
Yeah, like seriously mess with it. We're talking dark spots, uneven patches, the works.
Right. It's like our skin is trying to tell us something.
Exactly. It's like a giant billboard broadcast that's going on inside.
Okay, so before we get all hormone happy, we need to talk about melanin.
Yes, melanin, the pigment that gives our skin its color.
Think of it as your skin's natural sunscreen.
Right. It's like a bodyguard, protecting your cells from the sun's rays.
And melanin comes in different forms, right?
Yeah. You've got your eumelanin, which gives us those brown and black shades, and then pheomelanin, responsible for those red and yellow undertones.
So basically everyone has their own unique melanin cocktail.
Like a signature blend. It's kind of cool when you think about it.
But here's where things get interesting. Hormones can actually mess with our melanin production.
Exactly. It's not just about pregnancy either.
Right. Anyone can experience these fluctuations throughout their lives.
Thanks to those lovely hormones. Always keeping us on our toes.
Okay, let's talk estrogen. It's kind of a big deal in the hormone world.
For sure. Estrogen can really ramp up melanin production, which is why some women experience melasma during pregnancy.
Melasma.
Those darker patches on the face, sometimes called the mask of pregnancy.
Not exactly a cute look.
No, not so much.
But why does estrogen seem to have such a thing for our faces?
Well, the skin on our face is thinner and more delicate. Plus, it's constantly exposed to the elements. Oh, and it has a higher concentration of melanocytes. Those are the cells that produce melanin.
Ah, so it's like prime real estate for estrogen's artistic expression.
Exactly. Even small shifts in estrogen can have a noticeable impact on pigmentation, especially on the face.
And it's not just pregnancy, right? Estrogen dips during menopause can also lead to those age spots.
Absolutely. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
When things get out of whack, your skin is often the first to tell you.
Speaking of balance, what about the thyroid? It's always linked to metabolism, but how does it actually affect our skin?
Well, your thyroid controls a lot of things, including how quickly our skin cells renew and how much oil our skin produces. So if your thyroid is underactive, you might notice your skin is drier.
Underactive thyroid, that's called hypothyroidism, right?
Yes. Hypothyroidism. And that dryness can make those dark spots and uneven patches more pronounced.
It's like having a rough canvas instead of a smooth one. Those imperfections just stand out more.
Exactly.
What about an overactive thyroid?
That's hyperthyroidism. And things speed up. Skin cells renew more quickly, which, can be good, but it also means that pigmentation issues can become more noticeable faster.
It's like your thyroid is a conductor, and the music is getting a little too intense.
I love that analogy.
Okay, we can't talk about skin without mentioning stress.
Oh, the dreaded stress.
We all know it can make us break out. But what's the hormonal connection?
Cortisol, my friend. Cortisol.
Right, cortisol.
When we're stressed, our bodies pump out cortisol like there's no tomorrow. And guess what? Cortisol can mess with melanin production too, leading to more of those pesky dark spots.
So basically, stress is a double whammy.
Pretty much. It makes us feel terrible, and then it gives us the skin to prove it.
Managing stress isn't just about feeling zen. It's about protecting your skin, too.
Absolutely. It's self-care on multiple levels.
Okay, we've talked about estrogen, thyroid, stress. What about testosterone?
Oh, testosterone. That's a good one.
It's not just a guy thing, right?
Nope, not at all. Women have testosterone too, just in smaller amounts.
And just like estrogen, it can affect how much melanin our bodies produce.
You got it.
So what happens if someone has higher testosterone levels?
Well, high testosterone can lead to increased pigmentation. We sometimes see this in conditions like PCOS, where androgen levels can be elevated.
Okay, so it's not just estrogen calling the shots here. What about other androgens, like DHEA? Do they play a role in skin health, too?
DHEA, ooh, that's an interesting one. It's actually a precursor to both testosterone and estrogen, so it can indirectly affect pigmentation by, influencing those hormonal pathways.
It's like a hormonal domino effect.
But here's the cool part. DHEA seems to have this balancing act with cortisol.
Wait, remind me, what does cortisol do again?
Well, we talked about cortisol potentially increasing pigmentation, right? Well, DHEA might actually help counteract that effect.
So it's like a hormonal tug-of-war going on inside us.
Exactly. Different hormones battling it out for control over our skin's appearance.
And depending on which hormone is winning at any given moment, we might see different pigmentation patterns emerge.
That's a great way to put it. It's like a constant dance.
So we've covered estrogen, thyroid hormones, cortisol, testosterone, DHEA. Are there any other major players in this hyperpigmentation puzzle?
We've hit the main hormones that directly influence pigmentation.
Okay.
But there's one more worth mentioning: insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I always think of insulin in relation to blood sugar. What does it have to do with our skin?
Well, it's an indirect link. Insulin resistance, which is common in conditions like PCOS, can trigger a cascade of hormonal imbalances.
Okay, back up for a sec. Insulin resistance.
Basically, it means your body's cells aren't responding to insulin as well as they should, and that can lead to higher blood sugar levels. And those elevated levels can, in turn, mess with your other hormones, including those that affect pigmentation.
So insulin is kind of like a puppet master, pulling strings behind the scenes.
Exactly. It really highlights how interconnected our systems are, you know?
This whole hormone hyperpigmentation connection is so complex.
Right.
It's like a delicate dance between all these different players.
It truly is.
But now that we have a better understanding of the science behind it, let's talk solutions.
Yes, let's get to the good stuff.
What can we actually do to manage these hormone-related pigmentation issues?
All right, there are a number of approaches we can take, both conventional and natural. Each has its pros and cons.
Okay, that's good.
Let's start by discussing those conventional options, the things you typically hear about from a dermatologist.
Great, let's do it.
So, topical medications are often the first line of defense.
Topical medications,
Hmm.
like creams and lotions.
Exactly. Stuff you apply directly to the problem areas.
Got it.
One common ingredient you'll see is hydroquinone.
Hydroquinone.
It's been used for years to lighten dark spots, but it's important to use it under a dermatologist's guidance.
Okay, so no DIY hydroquinone experiments at home.
Definitely not. Your dermatologist can recommend the right concentration for your skin.
Makes sense. What about retinoids? Those are pretty popular in skincare these days.
Retinoids can be great for hyperpigmentation because they increase cell turnover.
Cell turnover.
Basically, they help shed those pigmented skin cells faster.
Oh, so it's like hitting the fast forward button on skin renewal.
Exactly, revealing fresh, new skin underneath.
I like it. So we've got hydroquinone and retinoids.
I'd
Yeah,
say
those
so.
are both topical treatments, right?
Right, but sometimes those aren't enough. And in those cases, oral medications might come into play.
Oral medications, like pills.
Yeah, they're usually for more severe cases or when topical treatments haven't been successful.
Okay, so it's like stepping it up a notch if those creams and lotions aren't cutting it.
Exactly. And some of these medications work by, blocking melanin production at a deeper level, while others target the underlying hormonal imbalances.
So it's really about addressing the root cause, not just covering things up.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, now I'm really curious about those natural remedies. Are there any that actually hold up against those conventional treatments?
Oh, absolutely. There are some seriously powerful natural ingredients out there. The world of natural skincare is vast and amazing.
Give me the details. I want to know all about them.
Okay, one of the biggest hitters is vitamin C.
Vitamin C, like the stuff we take to fight colds.
It's the same vitamin, but when you apply it topically, it can do wonders for your skin.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's a potent antioxidant, which means it helps protect your skin from damage caused by free radicals.
Right, those pesky little molecules that can cause all sorts of trouble.
Exactly. And those free radicals can actually contribute to hyperpigmentation. They damage our skin cells and trigger inflammation. So vitamin C helps neutralize those free radicals and prevent further damage.
Got it. So it's like vitamin C is our skin's personal bodyguard.
I love that analogy. And vitamin C has been shown to inhibit melanin production too, so it's like a double whammy in the fight against hyperpigmentation.
Okay, I'm sold. Vitamin C is officially on my shopping list. What else should I be looking for?
Another great one is licorice root extract. It's a natural tyrosinase inhibitor.
Tyrosinase. Remind me what that is again.
Tyrosinase is an enzyme that's essential for melanin production. So by inhibiting tyrosinase, licorice root extract can help prevent those dark spots from forming in the first place.
Got it. So it's like putting a stop sign in front of those dark spots before they even have a chance to show up. Plus, it's natural, so it might be gentler for those with sensitive skin.
That's a good point. Natural remedies can often be a great option for sensitive skin.
All right, I'm writing that one down too. Vitamin C, licorice root extract.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Kojic acid and niacinamide are two other fantastic ingredients for brightening the skin and fading dark spots.
Kojic acid. That sounds familiar.
It's derived from mushrooms, and it also works by inhibiting tyrosinase.
So it's like another member of the anti-tyrosinase squad.
Exactly. And it's often used in combination with other brightening ingredients like hydroquinone.
Interesting. So even though kojic acid is a natural ingredient, it can be used alongside those conventional treatments.
Yep. It's not always about choosing one or the other. Sometimes the best approach is to combine the best of both worlds.
I like that holistic approach. Okay, what about niacinamide? I've heard that one's really good too. Niacinamide is awesome. It's a form of vitamin B3, and it has a ton of benefits for the skin.
Like what?
Well, brightening, for one, and it's also great for reducing inflammation.
So it's like a multitasker. I like it.
Exactly. And it's generally well tolerated by most skin types.
All right, so we've got vitamin C, licorice root extract, kojic acid, and niacinamide. That's a pretty solid arsenal of natural ingredients to fight those dark spots. But you mentioned earlier that consistency is key with these natural remedies. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, natural ingredients can be really effective, but they don't work overnight. You need to be patient and consistent with your application to really see those results.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint. Got it.
Exactly. It's a long-term commitment to skin health. And speaking of long-term commitments, we can't forget about the importance of those lifestyle changes. Stress management, diet, sleep. Those things play a huge role in overall hormonal balance, which, as we've learned, is crucial for healthy, even-toned skin.
Well, you can't just slap on some cream and expect everything to magically fix itself. You've got to address those underlying issues, too.
Absolutely. Managing stress is crucial. We know cortisol can trigger hyperpigmentation, so finding healthy ways to de-stress is so important.
Yeah, whether it's meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, whatever, helps you unwind and chill out.
Exactly.
And of course, nourishing our bodies with a balanced diet and getting enough sleep. Those are non-negotiables.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about taking a holistic approach, addressing those internal imbalances and supporting our skin from the outside.
It's like giving our bodies the ultimate TLC.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the science behind hyperpigmentation, those pesky hormones that can mess with our melanin production, and some potential solutions, both conventional and natural. What's the biggest takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that knowledge is power. The more we understand about how our bodies work, the better equipped we are to take care of ourselves.
Knowledge is power. I love that. And understanding the connection between hormones and hyperpigmentation is a huge step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And by paying attention to those messages, we can start to make informed decisions about our skincare routine and our overall health.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap things up for today. But before we sign off,
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends. And be sure to leave a comment below letting us know your thoughts and any questions you might have. We love hearing from you guys. Until next time, stay healthy and keep those Kenko vibes high.
peace out, KenkoVibers. Okay, so we've talked about how these different hormones can impact our skin and, contribute to hyperpigmentation. But what can we actually do about it? I mean, knowledge is great and all, but I'm ready to take action.
Totally. And the good news is that there are a lot of options out there, both conventional treatments and natural remedies.
Okay, so walk me through it. What kind of treatments would a dermatologist recommend?
Well, usually they start with topical medications.
Topical medications like creams and lotions and stuff.
Exactly. Those are often the first line of defense. You apply them directly to the affected areas.
Got it. And what kind of ingredients should we be looking for in those topical treatments?
Well, there are a bunch of different ones that can be helpful. One of the most common is hydroquinone.
Hydroquinone. I've definitely heard of that one.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. It's known for its ability to lighten dark spots. It basically works by inhibiting melanin production.
So it's like hitting the pause button on those pigment-producing cells.
Yep, pretty much.
But you mentioned earlier that it's important to use hydroquinone under a dermatologist's guidance. Why is that?
Right, right. Well, hydroquinone can be a bit tricky. It's effective, but it can also be irritating for some people, especially if it's not used correctly.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So no DIY hydroquinone experiments at home.
Definitely not. Leave that to the professionals. A dermatologist can help you determine the right concentration for your skin type, and make sure you're using it safely.
Got it. What about retinoids? Those seem to be, like, everywhere in the skincare world these days.
Oh, retinoids are fantastic for hyperpigmentation.
Really?
Yeah, they're basically vitamin A derivatives, and they work by speeding up cell turnover.
Cell turnover. Remind me what that means again.
Sure. Cell turnover is basically the process of our skin shedding those old, damaged cells and replacing them with fresh, new ones. And retinoids can really accelerate that process.
So it's like hitting the refresh button on our skin. I love it.
Exactly. And when those pigmented cells are shed more quickly, it can help to, fade those dark spots and create more even skin tone.
Awesome. Are there any, like, downsides to using retinoids? Anything I should watch out for?
Well, they can be a little drying for some people, so it's important to moisturize well.
Okay, that's a good tip.
And sometimes you might experience a little bit of redness or irritation when you first start using them.
Makes sense. So start slowly and see how your skin reacts.
Exactly. But for most people, those side effects usually go away once their skin adjusts.
All right, good to know. So we've got hydroquinone and retinoids. Are those pretty much the only conventional options for treating hyperpigmentation?
Those are two of the most common topical treatments for sure. But there are also oral medications that can be used in some cases.
Wait, oral medications for hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, they're not as commonly used as topical treatments, but they can be an option for more severe cases or when topical treatments just haven't been effective.
Got it. So it's like if the creams and lotions aren't cutting it, you might need to bring out the big guns.
Exactly. And some of these oral medications work by blocking melanin production, at a deeper level.
Interesting. So it's like tackling the problem from the inside out.
Yeah, and sometimes these medications might be targeted at addressing underlying hormonal imbalances.
Right. So if your hyperpigmentation is linked to like PCOS or something, a doctor might prescribe oral meds to help regulate those hormones.
Exactly. It's all about understanding that sometimes these skin issues are a reflection of what's going on inside our bodies.
I love that. It's so important to address the root cause, not just try to cover up the symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's switch gears and talk about natural remedies. I'm super curious about this. What are some of the most effective natural ingredients for brightening the skin and fading those dark spots?
Oh, there are so many amazing options. The world of natural skincare is like incredibly vast and fascinating.
Give me all the details. I want to know everything.
Well, one of my all-time favorites is vitamin C.
Vitamin C, like the stuff we take when we have a cold.
It's the same vitamin, but when you apply it topically, it can have incredible benefits for your skin.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a really potent antioxidant, which means it helps to protect your skin from damage caused by free radicals.
Right, free radicals, those pesky little molecules that can wreak havoc on our cells.
Exactly. And you know what? Those free radicals can actually contribute to hyperpigmentation. They damage our skin cells and trigger inflammation. So vitamin C helps to neutralize those free radicals and, prevent further damage.
Got it. So it's like vitamin C is swooping in to save our skin from those evil free radicals.
I love that analogy. And vitamin C has also been shown to inhibit melanin production. So it's a double whammy in the fight against hyperpigmentation.
Okay, I'm convinced. Vitamin C is officially on my shopping list. What other natural ingredients should I be looking for?
Another fantastic one is licorice root extract.
Licorice root. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a natural tyrosinase inhibitor, which, as we talked about earlier, means it can help to reduce melanin production.
Right. Chirosinase is that enzyme that's essential for making melanin. So licorice root extract is basically putting the brakes on that whole process.
Exactly. And it's been shown to be really effective in clinical studies.
Okay, I'm adding that to the list too. Vitamin C, licorice root extract.
And then there's kojic acid.
Kojic acid. Okay, tell me more about that one.
Kojic acid is derived from mushrooms.
Mushrooms. I love mushrooms.
Me too. And it also works by inhibiting tyrosinase.
So it's like another member of that anti-tyrosinase squad. I love it.
Exactly. And it's often used in combination with other brightening ingredients like hydroquinone.
Interesting. So even though kojic acid is a natural ingredient, it can still be used alongside those conventional treatments. I like that.
Yep. It's not always about choosing one or the other. Sometimes the best approach is to combine the best of both worlds.
Makes sense. All right. Any other natural superstars I should know about?
Oh, yeah. Niacinamide is another one that's really popular right now, and for good reason. It's a form of vitamin B3, and it has a bunch of benefits for the skin.
Okay, fill me in. What does niacinamide do?
Well, it's great for brightening, for one, and it's also super effective at reducing inflammation.
Oh, nice. So it's like a multitasker.
Exactly. And it's generally well tolerated by most skin types.
Perfect. All right, niacinamide is officially on the list. So we've got vitamin C, licorice root extract, kojic acid, and niacinamide. That's a pretty solid lineup. But you
Wow.
mentioned earlier that consistency is key with these natural remedies. What did you mean by that?
Oh yeah, natural ingredients can be super effective, but they don't work overnight. It takes time for them to like really do their thing.
Okay, so patience is key.
Exactly. You need to be patient and consistent with your application if you want to see those amazing results.
Got it. It's like building a healthy habit. It's not about that quick fix.
Yeah.
It's about making those small, consistent changes over time that will lead to lasting results.
That's such a great way to put it. And it's not just about what we put on our skin, right? It's also about taking care of ourselves from the inside out.
Right? Those lifestyle factors we talked about earlier, stress management, diet, sleep, those are all crucial for hormonal balance, which, as we've learned, is directly connected to our skin health.
Absolutely. Managing stress is so important. We know that cortisol can trigger hyperpigmentation, so finding those healthy ways to de-stress can make a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. Whether it's like meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, whatever works for you.
Exactly. And of course, nourishing our bodies with a balanced diet and getting enough sleep. Those are non-negotiables for overall health and well-being.
I totally agree. So
Yeah.
it really is about taking a holistic approach. It's about understanding those hormonal connections, using targeted treatments, both conventional and natural, and making those lifestyle changes that support our overall well-being.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's all connected. And when we start to address these issues from that holistic perspective, we can achieve some pretty incredible results.
I love that. It's not just about covering up those imperfections. It's about understanding what our skin is trying to tell us and taking those steps to truly nourish and support it. So as we kind of wrap up this conversation about solutions, is there anything else you want to emphasize? Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I think the most important thing to remember is that you don't have to navigate this journey alone.
Right.
There are amazing resources out there, dermatologists, estheticians, naturopathic doctors, people who can provide personalized guidance and support.
That's so true.
So if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, just reach out. There are people who are passionate about helping you achieve your skin goals.
That's such great advice. We don't have to figure this all out on our own. There are experts that can help us create a plan that's like tailored to our unique needs and concerns.
Exactly. And it's about being proactive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't wait until things get really bad before you start taking care of your skin.
Exactly.
Okay, folks, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about the science behind hyperpigmentation, those tricky hormones that can mess with our melanin production, and a ton of potential solutions, both conventional and natural. But before we wrap up this episode completely, we want to take a moment to talk about one of the most important aspects of skin health,
And that is?
and that is sunscreen. I know, you've heard it a million times before. But seriously, sunscreen is like non-negotiable if you want to protect your skin and prevent hyperpigmentation.
I know, right? It's like skincare 101.
Exactly. We can talk about all these amazing treatments and remedies, but if you're not protecting your skin from the sun, you're basically fighting a losing battle.
It's true. The sun's UV rays can trigger melanin production, which can make hyperpigmentation worse, and those dark spots even more prominent.
Right. It's like, what's the point of all those fancy skincare products if you're not going to protect your skin from the sun?
Exactly. Think of sunscreen as your first line of defense, like that invisible shield that protects your skin from those harmful UV rays. And it's not just about hyperpigmentation either. Sunscreen helps prevent premature aging too, and, most importantly, skin cancer.
Right. Sunscreen is basically a superhero in disguise, protecting us from all sorts of bad stuff. But there are so many different sunscreens out there. How do we know which one to choose?
Okay, that's a great question, because it can be super overwhelming with all the different options. But there are a few things to keep in mind. First, make sure you're choosing a broad spectrum sunscreen,
Broad spectrum.
which means it protects against both UVA and UVB rays.
Got it. Broad spectrum. Check. What else?
And look for an SPF of 30 or higher.
SPF. Okay.
SPF stands for sun protection factor, and it basically tells you how long the sunscreen will protect your skin from, getting burned. So an SPF of 30 means it would take you 30 times longer to burn than if you weren't wearing any sunscreen.
Got it. So higher SPF, more protection.
Exactly. And don't forget to apply liberally and reapply every 2 hours, especially if you're sweating or swimming.
Okay, so find a broad spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher, apply generously, and reapply often. Got it. Any other sunscreen wisdom you want to share?
Yeah, don't just rely on sunscreen alone. Seek shade when you can, especially during those peak sun hours. And wear protective clothing, like hats and sunglasses.
It's like creating a whole sun protection system. I love it.
Exactly. It's all about being proactive and taking those steps to protect your skin.
Okay, folks, I think we've covered pretty much everything you need to know about hormones, hyperpigmentation, and how to get that clear, even-toned skin you've always wanted.
We've gone deep into the science, explored a bunch of different treatment options, both conventional and natural, and emphasized the importance of those lifestyle changes and, of course, sunscreen.
So as we wrap up this episode, what's the main message you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that you have the power to take control of your skin health. It starts with, understanding those hormonal connections, being proactive about protecting your skin, and seeking guidance from knowledgeable healthcare professionals when you need it. You deserve to have happy, healthy, glowing skin.
Yes, you have the power. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, be consistent with your skincare routine, and most importantly, be kind to your skin.
Well said. And don't forget, we're here to support you on that journey.
Exactly. We love hearing from you guys, so be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts, any questions you might have, or any amazing skincare tips you've discovered.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. The more people we can empower with this knowledge, the better.
Until next time, KenkoVibers, stay healthy, stay informed, and keep those Kenko vibes high.